and we are back on season 1, episode 2 of the Watch for the Hook podcast. I am your host and co-creator of Watch for the Hook, and today, for the first time ever, I have a guest. And y'all never who that guest is, but I'm gonna let it introduce herself.
Hey everyone, Tatiana Parker here, co-creator, CEO, CFO, CIO, COO, all the C's and the O's of the Watch for the Hook brand, M&T Parker LLC. Yeah.
Well, happy to have you aboard today, Miss Parker. How you feeling today?
Hey Michael, I'm good.
Well, child, you over there sound like you're a little nervous. You okay?
uh, I am fine. This is kind of new territory for me. I'm used to doing trainings and stuff and talking, to my computer, but not necessarily one-on-oneing it with you in the virtual world.
Well, for y'all that don't know, I also have a YouTube channel in the corner with Mike P, and I've been doing that for a couple of years. And I've always begged my wife to come get on TV with me, but she always turns me down. She shoots me down. So started the podcast last week, and she's like, "So when we gonna do a podcast? When you gonna get me on there?" I'm like, "You be on there tomorrow. Be on there whatever. It was a podcast. We do it whenever." So now she on here. She acting all shy. We gonna have to cut that shit out. She got to get to the nitty gritty. Ain't that right, Miss Parker?
Yeah, we love transparency here.
All right, all right. So Miss Parker, as you said, you are the financial backer of the Watch for the Hook brand. So just give us a little background on how you helped co-create the Watch for the Hook brand.
Um, so for the longest, Michael here, and I usually refer to him as Mike. So from here on out, you will hear me say Mike. Uh, Mike would always use a hashtag Watch for the Hook when he was trying to make something that was subtle or could have flown over anyone's head. When he was trying to bring attention to it and just really put it out there, he would use that hashtag. And so I finally got to the point where I was just like, hey, piss or get off the pot. I hate to use that phrase, but that was like the most befitting phrase ever. So that's how it started.
Okay, so you basically was the lightning rod, and that piss to get out the pot thing. That's a real old school saying. That has a real literal term. We ain't gonna get into it, but if you Google piss to get out the pot, you'll see what she's talking about. So Miss Parker, after that happened, what led to the piss to get off the pot part? Was it some? What was the hook that happened?
So, yeah, we actually got hit with our own hook. We've been speaking about it and pointing to it, with all the Las Vegas neon light signs and arrows. But then we finally, more recently, got hit with our own. And it was when Mike became ill. It was just like a really traumatic experience for me, and I'm not even speaking on his end. Um, Drastic, quick turn of events. It felt like anything that could go wrong did, was, would continue to go wrong. I felt like I was looking down the barrel of a loaded gun. I was about to, be raising two little girls by myself because it was just crumbling. So after we went through those turns of events, uh, and he was at home recovering, I basically told him, "You're at home doing nothing." Okay, y'all, he's laying up on the bed trying to recover from, I like to say, donating his organs.
Ain't that a bitch?
But I told him, now is the time. You're forced to be immobile at this point. You need to do some research. You need to see what you need to do to piss or get off the pot. You need to figure it out. You need to see what we need to do, how we can create this, how we can ensure we own it. So that way, since you did, yeah, spoiler alert, survive. Um,
I ain't dead, folks.
yeah, spoiler alert, he survived. Um, we need to make sure we can leave something to our girls, something that we can kind of groom and mold them into doing. something that could evolve with the times. It could transcend age groups, demographics, genders, just any of that. And so he did his research. We figured out the ins and outs, the business side of it, and we started working together from there, being a partnership.
Miss Parker, was you ever worried I was gonna check out on you? You thought I was a goner? Did you ever think I was a goner at any point in time?
Well, when we were leaving the restaurant that night, I thought you were pretty gone. Made it to the ER. Fortunately, I had a friend with me, and she was kind of looking at me like, "Girl, what's going on?" I'm like, "Girl, I don't know." He better have a life insurance policy.
At that time, I only do my job.
So, yeah, it wasn't looking good. I had never seen him in so much pain. And I was just kind of confused because I thought he was just being with the shenanigans. Because he's dramatic now.
Hey, listen, I ain't about that drama.
So yeah, I was kind of concerned. We had to like switch our life around within a matter of hours, literally hours. I don't even know if it was hours. It may have been like 80 minutes. Like switch your whole life around, pivot, change, do what you got to do, figure it out. Oh yeah, Mike, don't die.
No, I ain't gonna do that. I still got about 47 good years left in me. So on top of that, Miss Parker, all right. So we get through my surgery, my recovery. What inspirations did you have when it came to, well, maybe not inspirations. What was your thought process in the initial watch for the hook, getting those things together? Like, what were the first things you started looking into?
Um, well, I started looking into number one, cost. Is this something uh, we could afford? Is it some kind of way we can find or seek out funding? Just how does this look? How does this happen? Because we did not have people we could just pick the phone up and call. Hey, how do you get a tax ID established? How do you get an LLC established? Or like, how do you fill out paperwork for a business registration? So that really kind of started the process, and it's like, okay, can you afford to get it done? That's A. B. Can you sustain it? C. Um, is it even realistic? Like, is it even attainable? Is it something we can do? Is it gonna be worth it? Is it something we're gonna like? Is it something we're gonna burn out on? Like, that's literally how my mind was spiraling. But I had to keep him busy because he had to live.
So basically, you're saying number one was the cost,
Yes,
number two was sustainability,
yes.
and number three was it feasibility?
Realistic. Is
Real
this realistic?
is this realistic? So now that's late 2019. We're looking at September, October, quarter number four of 2019 with that thought process. So present day, we are now sitting in third quarter of 2022. How have you fared? How has Watch for the Hook fared so far, in your opinion?
Um, in my opinion, and you have to keep in mind, I am biased. Okay, I have literally birthed two girls into this world. Now, Michael has another daughter. She's a little bit older than I was, and we love her to death. But as far as me and my organs, it's two. Watch for the Hook was literally number three. It is just that personal to us. It is just that special to us. We have had some ups and some downs, some trials and some tribulations. We're keeping it a buck here, right? We 100% transparent.
Keeping it a motherfucking buck.
Michael, language.
Hey, girl, this says explicit on the category. These motherfuckers know what they signed up for.
So it's gone up and down. It's had really high peaks and there have been some lows. But what we've learned is number one, if it's something you're creating from scratch, um, it's gonna roller coaster. because there is no blueprint for it. You are creating the blueprint for it. Number two, don't give up. Number three, don't be afraid to reach out. Number four, don't be afraid to create a team around you. And it has taken some evolving to get to that point where it's okay to have more than one hand in the pot. Um, because we had a conversation with another individual a couple of months ago, and the individual was like, hey, if it's the same one or two people running the business 2, 3, 4 years later, then you're not growing. So,
Facts.
yeah, so I want to continue to expand and evolve. And evolution is the precursor to expansion. So you got to be willing to take constructive criticism. Um, don't take the losses as an L. Take it as a learning tool.
So as you go through the learning process, it has to be, I would say, not difficult but different to be in business with your husband, right?
Oh, wow. Candid Tatiana about to come through.
Come on through, Candy Tatiana. Bring that shit here, girl.
It has been something different. Um, the reasons it has worked is because the end goal has been the same. The common ground has been the same. Um, the reason that the system is bucked is because he and I don't see eye to eye on something as simple as a design. Or I'm not ready to expend a certain amount of dollars, and he's like, bring out the money gun. So, yeah, it has its highs and its lows. But the one thing we have always kind of kept tucked in our pocket is um, if you're upset or at odds in about the business side, leave it at that. At the end of the day, it's just business. I've known this guy, this fella over here
Man, I'm sexy. Don't get it twisted.
for for a long time. So yeah, it's not always perfect, but at the end of the day, with the common ground being the same, you can move past it. You don't pass it. Go about your business.
I'll add to all the fellow husbands, boyfriends, or business partners, whoever do business with the person they married to, live with, or shackle with. There's nothing worse than pissing your wife off professionally and personally. That make for some long nights. I'm just gonna keep
You've
it a
done
buck.
both of those in the same day
Shit,
sometimes.
same 5 minutes. Who needs a day? Hey, I go for the gusto quickly. Who needs a goddamn day where you can go in 5 minutes or less? But
That's
all
true.
in all, it's still great being a partner with my wife. I'm not gonna trade for anything in the world. I wouldn't be who I am. Damn sure probably wouldn't be alive if I didn't have her. So I'm gonna keep it a buck. 'Cause I know my ass probably be in an urn in the lake somewhere by now without having her by my side. So I appreciate it. I always want to know that I love her. I try not to take her for granted, even though sometimes she says I do. But that's just human. We ain't all perfect. Every day is a step to get 1% better, 2% better. So I still got her rocking with me, folks. So she got me rocking with me. She on the podcast.
I
So
just like my mic.
yeah, she likes somebody. She got the same microphone as me. So just let y'all know I picked all this out. Michael Parker. It's a little credit. But back to the let's okay. So we in 2022, Miss
Yeah.
Parker. Where do you see we 6 months from 2023? So we got a forecast out for Watch for the Hook.
Right. Right.
In your mind, give me your 6 month forecast to run into 2023. We gonna run it up.
So 6 month projections.
Projection.
It would be first things first. Got a couple new designs created.
Ooh, you said a couple of new designs. What the
Yes.
designs like?
Yeah. They are actually pretty fly, I must say.
Fly, fly,
Fly,
fly, fly, fly, fly.
get on. So, and I will say, this one of the two is tying back into when everything initially happened with Mike back in 2019, and we kind of embarked on a journey. We wanted to make sure we brought our girls in. So one of the ones we will release was created by our youngest daughter. She happened to be on a conference call with me coming from practice one day, and she said, "Mama, I got the next design." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, let me finish cooking dinner, move along, go take a shower, you've been in practice." And then she told me, and my mouth kind of fell open. I was like, "Dang, why I didn't think of that?" So I say that to say the fact that the youngest one is already contributing to the design aspect for new products, that absolutely uh, should be a feather in our hat, and B, it will be included as part of the 6 month projections, because in the beginning, everything was initially created to make sure our girls had something that they could have, they could run with, and we wanted to make sure after we became, well-oiled machines, and I say that loosely because there's always something that can be tweaked, a little bolt that can be tightened.
So you're basically saying the youngest one is contributing to the family business.
She is. That's tying back into why it was created. So we're on track to do what we need to do. We're gonna keep pushing. We're gonna keep dropping new merch. We're gonna keep evolving. We're gonna honestly, with the 6 month projections and with the podcast being created, um, the goal is to have more of hook related inspirational stories shared, um, how people have overcome, what they did, what put them on the path they were on, how they are where they are now, just all that good stuff. We want the nitty gritty though, because we want to be truthful and transparent to our audience. I'm a very transparent person, and I do not mind pulling the curtains back so long as it can help someone.
Exactly. I think lots of times, people are cool with being cool, but I don't want to see you cool all the time.
Mm-mm.
I need to see you struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And social media is one of those things where it's just basically everybody's highlight reel.
Oh
Unless they go out there and they tell on themselves or tell this story or put out the stuff that's not so highlights.
yeah. Right.
Because if you don't have a highlight, you got a low light. So with our podcast, like Ms. Parker said, we are looking to unmask,
Yeah.
unearth, get down to the get down. Don't want to let you come over here and hear a whole lot of fluff.
Right.
That fluff shit don't run. But that's one thing we're looking at. And so you said you got one design inspired by the 10-year-old.
Yes.
What's the other design you got coming out?
So this comes back to us and evolving as a brand. When the light bulb went off for me, because I'm going to take credit for this one, y'all. Well, you know what? Wait. I'll take credit for the idea. But good old Mike is the one that actually created it and brought it to life. Um, it's one that the light bulb went off after I was working out one day. I love to work out every morning. It just gets my good energy going.
Gets those good endorphins moving.
Yeah. And then I kind of got upset at myself. I was like, dang it. Why we didn't do this a long time ago? So now I'm up here mad because I felt like this is something we should have done way earlier on, but we didn't. But again, um, growth leads to different thought processes, which leads to evolution, which just leads to good things. So it's coming. The next one is coming. I won't say too terribly much about it, but it's coming, and I think everybody will love it. I think it will make a lot of things make sense. It'll help you think about things differently.
thinking about things differently.
Yeah.
Huh? That's a good. Oh, we already got that
We
though.
do.
Oh, look at you, girl. We already got that booming and scuba. Yes, 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 yes. So, all right, Miss Parker, we've been on here, and I just want to thank you very much for coming by and chatting it up on the Watch for the Hook podcast.
Wait, coming by? I thought I was a co-host.
Oh,
Did I
forgot.
get demoted just like
Nah,
that?
nah, 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 nah.
You gonna hear about this later. See, that's that
See,
business piss
see,
off right
see, see,
there.
see. I told you, don't even take 5 minutes. But yeah, so like I said, I was a tag team effort. So, you know, my always co-host, Miss Parker, sometimes she gonna do some of these by herself. You know, I'm gonna have to get out of her shell. So, you know, I don't want y'all getting sick or tired of hearing my black ass all the time either. So, you know, we appreciate y'all for listening. Always come by www.watchforthehook.com for our latest apparel. You can check us out on Apple Podcasts, In the Corner with Mike P on YouTube. Watch for the Hook is also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Yes.
Miss Parker, I'm going to give you the last words to close us out. Send us home with something good, sweetie.
So, just drop a little nugget for y'all. For anybody that's listening and you don't feel like this podcast is the right fit for you, just always remember the hook is universal. Be ready.